US was late to come to realize how bad the situation was and that it needed to shift its position. The second thing is that back in '82, it took several weeks, if not months, for us to realize what was happening in Hama. Today, it's streaming live. We have actually videos, we have testimonies coming to us every day that show the extent of the brutality. In fact, there's also Syrian soldiers serving in the army that is loyal to Bashar al-Assad who take pictures of them torturing others and selling them and broadcasting their brutality in an effort to terrorize the population.
But the brutality is not on one side, is it? I mean, there have already been Western reports.
For several months, it was only on one side. No one is going to deny that the opposition, that within the opposition, there are radical elements that are using also condemnable violence. But it is not, you cannot compare the scale.
And you condemn them too.
It is, of course,
these people who you want to take over from Assad.
No one is going to condone such brutality. But it's still localized. The scale doesn't compare. Most of the violence is regime instigated. And I apologize.
Okay, all right.
I'm
going to let Kamel Wazne come in on this.
Look, we're here not to prosecute what happened in '82. We're looking at what's happening right now, and we're looking at the map of the Middle East, what will emerge after what is taking place in Syria. What is taking place in Syria is really not about Syria. What is taking place in Syria, it's a new map is being drawn for the Middle East. We know the American, even the new con saying they lost Iraq. If you look at the new con from the Dick Cheney arrows, everybody is crying wolf because they lost Iraq. They want to compensate in Syria. This will bring a war to the region. Nobody wanted that war in the region. Let's be mindful of the politics that is drawn.
Okay,
every falling dictator has blamed a foreign conspiracy for his troubles at home.
Perhaps it's
Mubarak, Gaddafi, Bashar al-Assad today, elsewhere. There is no proof of foreign conspiracy for the moment.
Okay, all right. I'm going to take another question. I'm going to take a question from the gentleman up there.
Hello. My question is for Mr.
You're from where?
From the Philippines.
Okay.
My question is for Mr. Waqqaf and for the side against the motion. Throughout the entire debate, your side has pretty much tried to divert the responsibility for this situation in Libya away from Mr. Bashar.
We're talking about Syria.
Not Syria,
Libya.
Syria. Despite him being the president of the republic, despite him being in charge of the government, you pretty much diverted the responsibility away from him. If that is the case, then who is responsible for the situation and how can we put a stop to it?
Okay.
Who is responsible?
The situation, first of all, is about creating a sort of chaos in Syria, and it's not about killing people. Now, obviously, Syria has, for a long time now, has not been the most cooperative state with regards to American interests and Western interests in the region. That's evident. Now, is that an opportunity for someone to come and destabilize the situation? I mean, what happened in Tunisia and Egypt? Yes, it is. And somebody has, invested heavily in this. The Guardian, the London-based newspaper, the other day said, President Assad is the most, expensive person on earth because the level of money that was spent on toppling him is unimaginable. Now, anybody who doesn't really know...
So it's fact because it came from the Guardian?
No, but is it not fact because the Guardian said it? Of course. It is a notion...
You believe everything suddenly you read in the newspapers?
No, I do a bit of scrutiny, but I like that particular one.
You believe the things you want to believe. Okay.
Don't you think Western nations spent more trying to topple Gaddafi and now they're actually balking at intervention? The notion that this is driven from the outside.
They spent more Libyan lives than Syrian lives. That's what they spent.
It's insulting to the Syrian people. They've been going out. They've been actually resisting violence. They actually are debating whether foreign interventions is the right thing or not.
I would cool down a little bit, Emile,
blaming all this on the Western conspiracy. The West was actually at Bashar's door only a few months ago. The lines were open again. Hillary Clinton was talking about Bashar as a potential reformer. He should lead the transition. This is the reality of where the West stood 3 months into the
best for the Syrian people. Is that why you say? Why not for the Qatari people? Why not for the Saudi people?
What really changed What really changed? The Americans were like hugging Bashar al-Assad for a very long time. What really changed?
The level,
couldn't get a contract with the Iraqi to stay in Iraq.
The outrage throughout the Arab world,
my friend?
The 19 countries that approved the sanctions today are not lackeys of the West.
Look,
they're all like us.
I can tell you why the Americans were happy with Bashar. Because we were silent. We, the Syrian people, were silent. And now we are paying the price for being silent for so long. But now we have spoken, and they have to listen. Let me remind you of one thing. Just put conspiracy
Okay, briefly, because I want to go on to the next question.
Put conspiracy theory on the side. Madeleine Albright visited Bashar and sat with him in private in 2000 during the funeral. And people think that that was a conspiracy theory, that Madeleine Albright said, we support you to become president.
Okay,
Let's not talk about conspiracy theory.
I'm going to take some questions for this side of the debate. Does anybody have a question for this side of the debate? You, sir?
I'm from Cairo, Egypt. And my question is, if you really want to establish a good argument, I think we need to go back to the main key word in today's motion, which is resign. Resign, professionally speaking, is about that you were not able to deliver